When I created this planner cover a few weeks ago, there was one major problem. If you've seen that video, you might remember, well, actually, there's two problems here. You see all these folds here. So that happened because I didn't glue down my fabric before I sewed around it. You can find that video linked below this video. And I thought this wouldn't bother me, but it does. So today we're going to find a solution for this. And yes, some of you noticed. I didn't notice it throughout the whole video. Of course, this says September and it's missing the M, but it cracks me up. So I'm just going to leave it saying September. I don't feel the need to change this, but this I definitely need to change. So welcome to another Junk Journal Snacks episode. It's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. So rather than trying to take this apart, glue it down and re-sew it, we're going to do something a little more simple. I still have some of the same fabric. This is called Portland Street. It's by Tim Holtz. I will link my German online store, Quilting for You, which has this and many other awesome fabrics. So you can find that link below this video. So I have this strip here left over. And I want to use this to make a pocket out of this, which will cover all of these folds here that I don't want to see. So let's first cut a rectangle. I want it going over the whole length. And of course I want my edges frayed. I stitched around it twice with the same thread that I used here. So this can now go here and perfectly hide all of those folds. Now I could leave it just like that. That would be totally fine, but I want to decorate it some more. And I want to stick with my September kit. I have these collage sheets and I was thinking I could find an image here that I could add. And the colors go together so nicely with all of these images. By the way, you can find these and all of the downloads for my September kit linked below this video. And a huge shout out to everyone who has commented how much they love this kit, and to all of those who have bought it in the meantime. I am blown away by your reaction to this kit. Thank you so much. It makes me so happy that you are enjoying it as much as I am. Ooh, we could even add one of these girls. Could only use like a strip. I do like that idea. There's also this one, which is the piece that I tore off here for the cover. I mean, that's just absolutely gorgeous. But I still like the idea of having a face here. If this doesn't work, I can still revert back to this one, because this one will definitely work. But I want to see if I can make this work. I'm just thinking, do I tear it? Do I cut it? Let's cut it. So I just cut this bottom off so that I have a starting point, so that I know how tall this can be. I think I do want some of the stitching showing, so I'll start it here and then I'll cut it off right here under the line here. Okay, so I cut it to be inside my stitching, because at least I want to see it on the top and the bottom. I know I need to cut off some of this. I don't want to cut off too much. And I could cut her so that part of this overlaps the pocket. I'm okay with that as well. So then I'll cut it here. And then since some of this is going to overlap my pocket, I want to strengthen this. So I printed these on matte photo paper, so the quality is really nice. But the paper is, I think it's like 100 GSM, so it's a bit too flimsy for me. So I'm going to back this with some 200 GSM cardstock. I wouldn't do that if I would just have a strip like this, then that would be fine. But I don't want these parts here to bend too easily. And since I don't want this to warp later on, I'm not going to use a water-based glue. I'm going to use my 3-in-1 craft glue, which is waterproof. Alternatively, you could use something like Collage Medium or matte gel, something that you know is not going to warp your paper. I guess glue stick would also work. Then I'll cut it straight from here up until here. And I'll also cut it straight then, it's hard to see at the moment, but approximately here. And then I'll cut around this part. So I have this now, and the rest I will cut by hand, and I will leave a little border just so that the leaves aren't quite as thin, because the thinner they are, the more easily they will bend like that. And this can now go right here. Oh, I really like it. I do need to ink up those edges. As always, I like using walnut stain for that. So I could either now just glue this on top of my fabric, but we could also make this into like a double tuck spot by just either gluing or sewing it here on the 3 sides. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and sew around this again here. So that's what that looks like. Again, I went around it twice, and so now we have a little tuck spot here. And I can just glue this on. Alternatively, if you have a situation like this, or if you just want a pocket in the front of your planner or journal, you can obviously just glue an image over it. You don't have to use the fabric. So then I'll just take my textile glue and make sure I glue it on the correct sides. We could leave it just like this. That is absolutely gorgeous. Or we can also take this one step further, which of course I'm going to do. So we see she has this beautiful hairdo. So why not use this as a base and play a little more by adding some more elements on top. For example, I have these fabric flowers. And I think it would be fun to add a few more dimensional flowers here. As we can see here, the colors totally don't match, although maybe these bluish ones actually have the right blue, but I don't like the middle of it. The color does not work for me. But I have these pale ones. There's actually completely white ones like this one. I could color this. And I also need to get rid of these plastic stems in the back. I also have this one. 3 is probably a good number. So let's start off by taking these stems off in the back. And then let's just color these 2 here, and I also want to color the middle here. I'm actually going to cut this. Oh, look, this comes off completely. So I'm going to cut this part off as well because that is unnecessary bulk. I've also done the same with this one. And these now come off, which is even better. So I want to make these 2 a sunny yellow. I'm going to use my Wild Honey Distress Stain. You could also use watercolor. This is just because I'm lazy. So I'm just going to dab this onto my petals. I'm not so happy with this back coming through this much. I was not expecting that. So let's take another one of these. Cut this off. Take this off and cut this down. And let's color these petals. So then I also want to color these 3 middles. And I have this watercolor palette that I put together myself with watercolors by White Knights. These are artist grade pigments, meaning they are very, very highly pigmented. And I'm going to use this beautiful dark teal color here. I have dried these with my heat gun, and I think they look a bit flat. So I want to add some more dimension by adding some more color to them. So I chose some colored pencils. So I'll just start from the middle and just add some lines. The middle, of course, is going to be darkest. And then we can have just some lines radiating towards the outer edges. And that will give it some more dimension and depth. Dimension and depth, is that the same thing? Kind of. Then I'll add a brown. I want a little bit of color variation. We'll add to the depth as well. Not that I'm a coloring specialist or anything. And I even want to add a little bit of black for some more definition. I also want to make this center a little bit darker. And I don't have this beautiful teal here in colored pencil, so I'll just try to kind of wing it and try to add these two and hope that it will give me like a similar color. Adding a bit of black as well. So now I can glue these. Open your glue bottle, Barbara. I can glue these into my flowers. So let's add these to Our Lady. Wow, yep, I really like it. But that's not all. I think it also needs a little bit of bling. So I have my treasure tin, which has all sorts of fun bling in here. For example, we could add something sparkly here in these two. How about some yellow round things? Oh, they are so tiny. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally love that. I also would like to add maybe, where is it now? I just saw a green leaf. There we go. There's a little green leaf. We could add one here and one up there. And of course we need a third one for down here. We could also see what it would look like if we add this sparkly blue here in the center of this yellow flower. Yep, why not? We have another one here, but it's kind of covered. Let's see if we can move this one just a little bit. And then we could add this one here. Really liking that. Ooh, there's a tear. Because she does have kind of a sad expression, doesn't she? So maybe we could just enhance that by adding this tear. So what is she sad about? Oh, I know. She's sad because she's obviously a summer girl, and she's sad because summer is over. which is why she has such an elaborate floral headdress, because this way she can take the last bits of summer with her into the winter and hold on to them as long as she possibly can. That's the story I'm going with. So I've glued everything down, and I realized that I could take a brush and take some of this color off the middle and add it to the petal to make it a little more blue. I just realized I forgot to glue down the golden centers here. Oops. Oh no, not her nose. No, 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 no. Okay, phew. So that goes here. And this one goes here. And I'm also wondering whether I should add some more bling dots here where we have these little gemstones or whatever they are in that net. And then of course we need gold splatters. So let's cover her face. I have some thinned down gold acrylic paint. Watercolor will of course work as well. Let's add some here for good measure. So here we are. It has dried. This blob here kind of got a bit out of hand, but it's all right. I'm going to leave it. I would say that's an improvement to how it looked before. What do you think? So go crazy. Add some fun elements to your printables or book images or whatever you might have. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.